Hi, everybody. Janet Eichorst here, and welcome to episode 11 of this podcast series. I was getting really excited. I just thought about something I wanted to share in this on this podcast series, and I got really excited about it. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's take a few breaths first. Oh, I feel happy to be here today. Thank you for joining me. All right. So the reason I'm so excited to talk about this today is because it can have such a huge effect on the quality of how you are living. And the topic is, what is my driver? What is the impulse that causes me to do things? There have been so many fear drivers. And we are designed to be and are these infinite creator beings. And we've had so much programming that has instilled levels of fear in us that becomes the mechanism for which we take action. And we don't have to do that anymore. That's why I'm so excited about this. And trust me, this is very experiential for me. And I'm not one to hyper vigilantly look at my life. And I am one to pay attention to what's happening because I get sensations in my body and some of them are like, ew, like that doesn't feel aligned. I mean, I'm sure we've all had that experience where we feel like we are in the zone. We feel like that life force energy is here. We feel grounded. We feel in our bodies. We feel a level of God consciousness, really is what I want to say. It's how that life force moves through us as us in such a pure way that nobody can knock us off of our center. We feel really solid. We feel clear. And when I take action, that isn't in alignment with that, it doesn't feel so good. And fear, there's so many mechanisms and programs. If you watch TV, which I do not, I have not had a TV in my house for a very long time. The commercials sometimes, I mean, I'll be walking somewhere and I'll see a TV and something plays and I was like, holy cow, you know, they're meant to create fear or tell you something's wrong so that you need to take action or that you're not whole or you're not good enough. So buy this thing. I mean, it's meant to influence you in such a way that somebody makes money off of you or affects your behavior in some way, right? That benefits them or that is part of their agenda. And well, I think pure marketing would be offering something. This is what I'm offering. This is what it does. This is how you can benefit from it. Take it or leave it. But there's been so much studying about the human body and the human psyche and how we operate that it is such big business to manipulate people. And I want us all to get off the manipulation train, right? Like, we don't have to participate like that. And I know I am still under the influence. I'm in a human body, and there's a lot of unconscious stuff that I don't even know is happening. And it's less and less. And I feel more myself than I ever have. And I feel really great about that. So, back to drivers, back to impulses. In an ideal world, we are connected enough that we can tell the difference. We discern where those impulses come from. And for me, a lot of times what will happen is it's not even thought-based. I'm still enough, I'm quiet enough, I have a very deep level of inner peace, and I just act. It's sort of like my body and my spirit are aligned enough that I don't have to think about things. I just move from one thing to another. Now, that doesn't mean I don't use my brain. And you may have your own version of this. Sometimes my head will say, do this, and then I end up doing something different. And it's that spirit, it's that soul essence, it's that universal life force energy that's really guiding me. And I've said many times that we really can't mess this up. We think that we can, and sometimes the consequences to our actions are way bigger than we would like. And in the overall picture, we can't really fuck it up. And why do I think that? It's because that life force, my life experience has shown me this, that even in the most horrific scenarios, when I get through to the other side, I see the great wisdom. I see the learning of it, and I don't even really want to say it that way, but there was more going on than I was aware of when I was in that process. Fear drivers. Do I think something is going to be taken from me? And that's that unconscious way to avoid bad things from happening. We do that in healthy ways sometimes. And the underlying principle of that fear, based on that I'm not okay, is not the reason to do something. Fear of missing out. Is that the driver? I'm going to miss something really cool if I don't do this. Wanting to be part of a community where you're accepted. Is that the driver? And is that in alignment with who you really are and your desires? That's a big one. We need community. I am really excited about that. I am witnessing and feeling and experiencing close relationships, communities where I express that I don't agree and I don't feel threatened, and that the people I'm witnessing don't feel threatened to express an opinion that's different from another. And it's done in honor and respect. We really have made a lot of progress in our communities, especially these heart-centered people, right? Like, there's so many of us here on the planet right now. And we have the ability to practice to be in relational dynamics with other people with such honor and respect that it changes reality in our existence here. And that's not fear-based. When I can express my opinion with people that are so dear to me, it would be a huge loss if I didn't have a relationship with them. When I can do that and it's honored and held, and even in groups that I don't necessarily know the people that well, when I can show up in those environments, be who I am, and share my thoughts freely and openly, that is gold. This is the world I know, anybody listening to this, that we want to create and live in. Now, we're smart about this, right? I make choices every day about what groups I participate in, how I interact with certain people, and what I share in those environments. And everything I do is based on honor, respect, and love. And I know that's your value system too, or you wouldn't be listening to me or watching me, right? So that level of freedom that comes from being who we truly are is not fear-based. There's discernment automatically when have access to that part of me, that true essence. There's a discernment mechanism that's automatically built into that. And I get those feelings about what I should say and how I should say it. And I want to just talk a little bit about, so if we're not in that fear mechanism and we're in that place where that guidance, that divine guidance, that spark, those true nudges that are God consciousness, universal life force energy moving through us as us, heart based, right? When we get those, sometimes there's resistance in me acting from those. And that's the fear pattern. I know you guys know what I'm talking about here, but I'm talking about it now for us all to just take a moment to strengthen our ability to fortify that courage that we have within us to take action where we perhaps are more vulnerable. We reveal a part of ourselves that perhaps we have not before because of fear. And that might have been warranted. That might have been exactly appropriate in that moment. And in this moment, is it still? I do not have to, and we do not have to live a fear-based life. Even when we are in an environment where we see violence on our outside, we can navigate our lives in such ways that we can be bold. We can be vulnerable. We can act when it's appropriate to act, even if other people are not approving of our actions. This is huge. This is the freedom that we have been searching for on so many levels for so long. And we have been in a process where our freedoms have been restricted or constricted. A lot of this has been unconscious. We have not known as clearly as we do now that we have been manipulated as a society. And that's true of when you think about the big corporations, and it's not just them, right? But a lot of our institutions have attempted and been successful at controlling our behavior. We say no. I say no. You don't have to do that anymore. And they do that by some sort of fear or some sort of emotional connection that will, an emotional influence that will affect my behavior. So back to courage. I am going to invite you right now to have that heart consciousness in your cellular structure and to invite that heart consciousness, that pure God essence into your neurological system. And just breathe. Allow that to happen. You can feel there's a lot shifting right now. Allow yourself to be able to discern in ways that you have never been able to discern before what's actually happening, guided by that pure source essence, so that your neurological system does not have to go into fight or flight when it's not necessary. Allow your brain to restructure to allow that courage, that pure essence, to be your guiding force always. Even in the midst of an emergency, even in the midst of a situation where your well being is physically threatened in the here and now, allow that life force energy, that pure source essence, to guide you, show you, help you know, without having to over process or over analyze. Let that flow be clear, simple, pure. You are a magnificent being of light. The power that we wield is so strong. It's unbelievable. And what that pure essence that we are can do, can create. When we're not in that fear, we are allowing that pure creator essence to be here. That doesn't require as much thought or as much thinking. So feel right now that stillness, that power that you are and that you wield in a pure way. This is how we change reality. This is how we affect our surroundings. This is exciting. Let's just breathe a little bit here together. And in this moment, anything that you could possibly need on any level, allow yourself to feel that source essence and receive exactly what you need. That sometimes takes more courage than giving. It does for me. Be guided by the one that you are. Beautiful, bountiful, amazing. No matter what is happening in your external world. I want to close here with a prayer, an intention, an invitation for you to have at your disposal more of that life force energy that you are. And this is in your physical body. Every cell, every strand of hair radiates, can radiate that pure life force essence that you are. So that's the invitation, is to be that in a way that you have never been that, here and now, in the best possible way. So much love to you, many blessings. Please like, please share. So grateful to be with you today. Bye for now.